This is Don Kincaid with the Kincaid Files, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, baby.
C to the O to the D to the Y. This is Cody Hawk, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey, this is the Hoss of Hosses, Devontez right here. You're now tuned in to Wrestling with Entertainment. Just let me know when you're ready. I got you.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, man, it's the Hoss of Hosses. You're tuned in. Let me say that again. I messed up. I'm sorry.
1.
Hey, this is the Hoss of Hosses, Devontez right here. You're now tuned in to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., flying solo for the moment. But it is still a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the Hoss of Hosses, Devantes.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. Over here on the East Coast, man. It's cold out here. How about yourself?
It was so cold today, I wore socks with my sandals.
Go on.
No, in California, we're lucky if it goes down to 40. Honestly, it doesn't go lower than maybe 50 here.
Oh, it must be nice. I'm so jealous, man. I'm over here in Philly. It's windy and cold over here.
Now to me, that sounds like a good time. I like cold weather.
Yeah. I trade positions. We can trade places.
No, what do you got coming up?
Man, I got a couple. I just did Bliss Creek Pro on Saturday. Got a couple of events coming up. New South is coming to PA, so I'm gonna do New South. I got a lot of stuff going on as far as next year, but trying to end this year strong.
Absolutely, and that's pretty great that you're starting to get things lined up for next year and kind of really come out of the gate, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And where can we find you on social media and merchandise if you got it?
I would say the best thing to find me on is Twitter, DevontezPW.com. Same way you guys contacted me. That's the easiest way for anybody to contact. I'm on my Twitter every day. Merchandise. I got whatamaneuver.com. Type in Devontez. All my stuff will pop up right there. But yeah, Twitter is the best way to contact me.
And you don't even have to type it in or look for it, throw it into your Google machine. It's going to be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Just click it.
Okay, cool. Yep.
Now you work for Camp Leapfrog. Can you tell us your relationship with that company?
Well, I came from another promotion before that, and
Chikara.
Chikara.
Yeah.
And another guys, a couple of guys had started this promotion, and they started bringing in random Chikara people there, and a lot of those were my friends from before, so that's how everything started, how I got there, and that's pretty much the gist of that story. It's not like an elaborate story to it.
Oh, no worries. And it's kind of like Camp Leapfrog is kind of the new Chikara, so to speak, because it took a lot of those guys, correct?
So I mean, I understand why people say that. I know some of the people there don't want to be associated with Chikara, so I won't say that.
So.
Yeah, yeah, right. So I won't say that. But there are a lot of people from Chikara there, but there are also people that come from other promotions that wrestle there as well. But yep. So I get the reference.
No, getting into it, you recently had a no ring match against HoodFoot. Can you tell us
Yeah,
about having a match with no ring?
it was extremely different. It was different. I I was skeptical going into it, so I messaged some other wrestlers, some other that's had the match, and they said, it was probably some of the most fun that they have ever had. And going in there and going in that environment, one of the most memorable things that I've ever done in wrestling. Like I had so much fun. I wrestled HoodFoot before,
Yes.
so I know HoodFoot. But that was to me was one of the best. That was one of the best events I ever went to.
I mean, how do you approach going into a match where you don't technically need to get into a ring? What
It's
headspace are you in?
I'm sorry, say that last
What
part.
headspace are you in?
It was at first it was nervous, but where I seen where we were going to be wrestling at, I was like, just be creative with everything that's around you. I don't know if you ever played the game Def Jam Vendetta, but that's like um kind of how I looked at it, like a street fight type of thing. And I was just looking at everything that was in the room, and I'm like, I'm going to use everything in there uh, to make this match as creative as possible.
That and it certainly was an interesting match. I mean, when you get into when you don't get into ring with Hoodfoot, you have some pretty heavy hitting matches. Would you say that there's a rivalry there between you and Hoodfoot?
Yes, robbery there between me and Hoodfoot, man. Me and Hoodfoot got a love hate relationship. Uh, but yeah, Hoodfoot's a good dude. And yeah, I know he gonna bring it. He know me, I know him. Um, and I just think it makes for a good match, man. I thought it was a good booking on Casanova Valentine's part.
And just keeping on this topic, the first match you had against Hoodfoot was in the heavy hitters tournament.
Yep, that
Um,
was the first.
that's a really unique um tournament because it's not your normal tournament, your basic match. There's a point system. It's kind of
Mhm.
a little different. So how did you go into that match? I'm curious.
Um, so I'll say it now, but when I got the call, I had no idea what UWFI was. Like I had to look up what that was on YouTube, and I seen like matches Vader had back in the day, and I was like, oh, okay, this works. I got there. They basically gave you the breakdown of how the matches go, and I thought it was fun. I thought it was unique, man. I thought it was dipping my foot into something, different than just traditional pro wrestling. So I enjoyed it.
Right. Now, something that I noticed when you've wrestled is that you don't technically see a lot on independent shows is squash matches.
Hmm.
You're having like these 3 4 minute matches where you just annihilate people. Is that kind of frustrating? Because I mean, obviously you can go, or is it okay? Well, this is my presentation and how I need to show myself.
So I'm assuming you're talking about the Crucible style matches that was on YouTube.
That and maybe a match with Love Dog as well.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like, but the Crucible things was more like of a theme when I was at Chikara. And that's the stable that we came from. So it was like the matches couldn't go over 2 minutes. Like that was the theme, the gimmick behind it. The Love Doug thing was, and like I said, I tell you, it was. We were supposed to have longer 8 minute, 8 to 10 minute matches, but the show started so late. Like they were shooting
Oh,
8 scenes in the one day, and the show started so late that they had to chop a couple of matches down. So that's why those matches were so quick. They were actually supposed to be longer matches, but things happen, and I understand. It's independent wrestling, man.
Okay.
Things don't go as planned.
Any anything on Love Doug?
I like Love Doug, man. I'm a big fan of Love Doug,
You
man. I think
like
he got a
Love
nice.
Doug or you love Doug?
I love Love Doug, man. I
There you go.
love Love Doug. Character, cool dude.
Now, could you tell us if there is possibly, and you mentioned before, a Crucible reunion?
I would love to see it, man. I mean, I would love to see I guess get the band back together, as they say. But I'm in contact with mostly everybody that was in the Crucible, and I can, it's easy as a text to reach out. Um, me and Makowski are on cards together. Me and a couple other people are on cards together. So, but I would love to see it. I actually suggested it as like Halloween, like we all throw our old gear back on and take pictures at the Crucible, man. I thought that'd be fun.
That sounds, that sounds great. And I mean, is it kind of like a Shield scenario where if one of yous need each other, it's one phone call away, you're there.
Um, well, yeah. I wouldn't say it's like tight as the Shield are, but we're all friends. I wouldn't say like the best of friends, but we're all, we keep in contact with each other. Check up on everybody. Things like that. So, but I wouldn't say like the Shield.
Okay. And Matt Makowski, good
Yep.
friend or better rival?
Uh, I would say better friend, good friend. I enjoy. It's hard. It's a little bit of both because I enjoy our matches. Like Makowski make you work, and I love that about him. Like he pushes you to that next level. Um, he's just you watch Makowski, you see all the success he's getting now. Like this dude is one of the most talented people, and he picked up on everything so quick. But I would have to say a little bit of both, man, because he's my friend, but he's also a great rival. So I can't really pick one or the other.
Okay. Well, more recently you had a six-man tag against Main State Posse and Alec Price, who
Right.
are very established names on the independent. Can you tell us how that match came about and your feelings going into it?
I thought it was pretty good, man. Main State Posse, love them or hate them. Number one, they got the greatest entrance music in wrestling game right now. Alec Price, to me, I've said it on Twitter. I think he is like the best heel in wrestling. I don't ever want to see him be a face. I think he should stay a heel because he like owned it and he crafted that gimmick so well. But going into it, it was great, man. I got to wrestle with the rep. Um, I had a lot of fun during that match.
All right. Can you tell us about working about with the Sean Henderson promotion?
Sean's a good guy. Sean's a guy that he came in and we talked about squash matches earlier. He did a match at Chikara where they paired him with me. And he's just like, hey, I got a show coming up. Would you be interested? I'm like, yeah. Sean's just one of the nicest guys in wrestling. So he books me from time to time at H2O Wrestling, and it's fun.
And yeah, I mean, my co-host, Scooter Dust, is in New York, so he's in that general vicinity as well.
Nice. Mhm. Mhm.
Now, you was on PWI's top 500 wrestlers of 2020. You was
Hmm.
474. Can you tell
Right.
us about your reaction of getting on that list?
I had no clue. I don't know I think I was at a breakfast store getting something to eat, and like I just looked at my phone and people called me and was like, hey, you on PWN inside top 500. I'm like, really? Me? This is like my first year really getting my feet wet in the business as far as like debuting and having matches. So I'm like, really, me? And like I went on the internet and I looked at the list. I'm like, wow, I sure am on this list. So it definitely felt like a sense of accomplishment. Like, wow, the hard work that I'm doing is paying off. So, you know, it was it was definitely great and humbling.
And absolutely, that's a real big accomplishment. And
Yeah.
and it's saying something because 2020 was maybe not the best year for pro wrestling.
Hmm.
Um, so can you tell us what it was like wrestling in the pandemic era of pro wrestling and in front of no crowd?
Um. Well, first I always say I was fortunate because I got some really big bookings during the pandemic. It was obviously different. It was weird. Uh, Wrestling in front of no fans. Me being a heel, I feed off of the fans. So like you're just wrestling in a room with your opponent, the referee, and the promoter and the camera guy. It was definitely different. Still appreciated the opportunities, but you can't the fan reaction is priceless. I mean, that's something that you just gotta have, and it was it was weird sometimes. You couldn't tell the match was going well because nobody was cheering. So
And
it was, but we managed.
how do you approach a match knowing that there's not going to be a crowd to kind of see what's working and what's not?
Um, it's really no way to gauge it. Like to me, it felt like doing practice matches before I debuted. That's how I looked at it. But obviously adding all of the character work to it because this is going to be put out on platforms. So you want people to be entertained. But it was just it was different. It was different. Hearing yourself echo in a quiet
Ooh,
room. You know,
that must be really awkward.
it was awkward. I'm not gonna lie, it was.
Hello, hello, hello.
Right, right, right. Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
I mean, how did it feel when you finally got the crowd back?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you something. I loved it, man. I even preferred it. I liked it even when, it was like limited capacity. During the pandemic, it was like anything was good to me. But this year having wrestling at a few shows that's been, a few hundred people there, a couple thousand people there, man, is priceless, dude. Fans are like are just as important as the wrestlers. You know,
So it kind of gave you maybe even more appreciation for the fans.
absolutely, absolutely.
What was it like hearing those first boos coming out of the curtain?
No, man, it get me in my zone. I love it, man. I love, I love it, man. I love being a heel. You know, I like it because it's the opposite of who I am in real life. I'm real like a quiet, mild mannered guy. If people who know me outside of wrestling or before I got into wrestling, and then when I get in the ring, I'm just this totally different person. I love inviting people to shows and they see this different side of me, and just looking at their faces is great to me.
And that's like the craziest. It still blows my mind that you see these big nasty heels and they're maybe like the most despicable people on screen, but I've talked to a lot of them. They're maybe the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of it's to me, it's therapeutic. It's getting outside of yourself and becoming somebody, turning into somebody that you're not at all. And you know, but once I'm out of the ring, I talk to fans during intermission. Just a regular guy. I'm just like anybody else.
Yeah, and you was in a ladder match, a ladder hell match, I believe they called
Yes, it was. That's exactly what it was.
it. could you could you tell us about that match?
Yeah, we just had it on Saturday at Bliss Creek Pro Wrestling. The match should be up on IWTV within, I'll say, either Saturday, the latest Monday. But it was 5-man ladder hell. Me, Bobby Orlando, who was the champion,
Yep.
VSK, Aaron Rorick, and King Crab, and some of the most fun, probably the most fun I've ever had. But I still feel that match today, and that match was 3 days ago.
Well, I feel like Orlando might be feeling a little bit more, considering you probably murdered him off the ladder.
Yeah, that was fun, man. I say this, everybody, left a little bit of themselves in that ring that night.
Did it feel good squashing Orlando off the ladder, the TKO?
It always feels good, man. Bobby is one of the biggest trash talkers there in business. So that was great.
Now, you've done a lot of crazy matches, the heavy hitters tournament, the crucible style matches, the ladder matches. Do you like doing these crazy gimmick matches, or do you prefer straight up one on one?
So I like doing those matches. My preference is straight up traditional, but I don't mind doing, a rumble. I don't mind doing a tag. I don't mind doing ladders, crucible, UWFI. Like it's all fun. I like being in the ring. But if we talking about a preference, my go-to is singles match over everything.
Is there a type of stipulation match that you haven't done that you're kind of eyeing or want to do?
um, um, nah, not really. I kind of take what comes, but it's not anything that I'm like waiting on or I really want to do this. Uh, when the idea of ladder match was approached to me, I'm like, well, yeah, I'll do it, but because I've never done it before, but it wasn't like I wasn't going to the promoter like, hey, I want to be in a ladder match, but I'm happy I did it because it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Now,
Hmm.
the definite you are in the crucible. The definition of
Yes.
crucible is a situation of severe trial, eh, or in which different elements interact, leading to the creation of something new. What was Devontez's crucible?
Who was I to the Crucible? Is what you're saying?
No, the definition of crucible is that something good came out of something bad.
Hmm.
What is Devontez's crucible?
So, I'm trying to think how I can answer that question. Something good came out of something bad. Uh, I don't know. I probably got to get back to you over that question. I don't think I can answer that.
All right, fair enough.
Mhm.
Now, does Doug and Hey Arnold deserve to be higher on the Nickelodeon's top shows of all time?
First of all, Doug, yeah. Okay, so
Doug wasn't on
Nickelodeon.
it.
You said what?
Doug wasn't on the list, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you leave Doug out of it. I mean, you can't mention Rugrats without mentioning Doug right after that. I remember, what was that? It was a meme somebody had posted, right?
Something
Where they
like that,
had
yeah. Somebody made a list, and you're not the only person that I know that was not happy with that list as well.
yeah, yeah. I said this had to be somebody who's like younger, because like some of the shows he had on, I was like, this isn't really my era. Like, but that '90s Nickelodeon cartoon era was great. Doug and Rugrats to me, and Hey Arnold were some of the top shows on Nickelodeon. And for Doug not to be on, and I just like, this list means nothing to me.
And I mean, SpongeBob wasn't in God tier. I mean, it's SpongeBob. Doesn't that have to be up there?
Yeah, I was a SpongeBob fan. I remember when SpongeBob came out. I thought it was so annoying, and then I started watching it more. SpongeBob is hilarious.
Oh, absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
those original episodes were, honestly, watching them back are really interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
underappreciated artistry wise.
absolutely, absolutely.
Now I have it here. God tier, so obviously the most uh prominent was iCarly, Victorious, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Rugrats, Sam and Cat, Zoe 101, Avatar, All That, and Blue's Clues.
Okay, so the only two that I agree on there is All That and Rugrats. Like, it has to be somebody that's early 20s that came up with this list.
Well, as somebody that watched Blue's Clues growing up, I maybe top tier, but maybe not God tier. And I mean, Avatar is a great anime, so
Okay.
either top tier, God tier. The top
Yeah,
tier, yeah,
I was gonna say, see, I didn't remember that. See, All That wasn't a car. I thought it was a cartoon thing, but if we want to go off Nickelodeon shows, Rugrats, Doug, All That, Keenan and Kel, Our Real Monsters. I mean, like, all of that stuff should have been thrown in that top tier to me, because that was my era,
yeah.
you know.
I,
So, but yeah,
I mean, a lot of the cartoons nowadays are nowhere near what they was back then.
at all, at all,
Yeah,
oh man, at all, different times, but I guess that's just I'm 32. I guess that's just the older man, you know, being better.
the grizzled young veteran. You
Yeah,
kids.
there you go. That's exactly what it is.
All right, now it's time for Kaliko's colossal question, not featuring Kaliko.
Okay.
It's You've been in the wrestling business for a little while now. They're
hmm
making a movie about you, and
hmm
they got Will Smith to play you.
hmm
And every movie has a soundtrack.
hmm
As of right now, what would be the first three songs on the Devontez's movie soundtrack?
uh, I would say it's this rapper named Mano out of New York. He got this song called "I'ma Go Harder Than Them." Would be one of them. Uh, um,
That's
trying
one.
to think. That's one. I would say, jeez, that's a great question.
It
Um,
is the question that broke Colossal Mike Law.
you said what?
It's the question that broke Colossal Mike Law.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be one of them. Um, Fuji's Ready or Not would be another one.
All right.
And the third one, I would have to say, jeez. Oh, I would have to say, Cameron, I'm ready.
All right. Now you got 3 songs right there. Do you
Mhm.
lock it in?
Yep.
All right. Now, on the show, we like to say that everybody has a nerdy side.
Okay.
Everybody's nerdy about something. What are
Mhm.
you nerdy about?
Naughty. Uh, Naughty.
Nerd. Nerdy.
Um, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm really naughty about
Didn't say
any.
naughty. Nerd. Nerdy.
What's that? Oh, nerdy.
Nerdy. Yeah.
Naughty.
That
Nerdy.
naughty is a whole different podcast. We don't
Yeah,
do
I was
things
like, oh, with this. Nerdy. I mean, people say we're in the wrestling business. We are all nerdy, but um, I would say what I'm nerdy about, and it's weird. I have, I like, I'm like a big YouTube guy, and I watch like chiropractic videos all day. It's like,
what?
yes, yes, it's horrible, and a lot of people don't know that about me, but I don't know because I go to the chiropractor. I just find it to be so fascinating that I just like watch the videos on YouTube and go to sleep to them.
Okay.
I
I was
told
not
you.
expecting that. I mean, are you trying to become a chiropractor? Or is it a anatomy wrestler thing? Like,
I'm big into like physical therapy. I'm big into like trying to keep my body, try to feel better. Obviously, taking a lot of these bumps that we take,
right.
like I said, I'm still feeling it from a show from 3 days ago, and I just think it's so fascinating to me. Like they just caught my attention, and I just wound up like watching, like learning about the anatomy, things that I don't know, but it's nerdy. So I think that would best describe, best answer your question.
I and even if it's not, I'm really glad I got that answer.
Yeah.
And have you like learned anything watching these videos?
I know so much from watching these videos. It's sickening. It's
Now, something that always fascinates me is ring gear. Um, you've had the long gear and the short trunks. What
Mhm.
what was the change? Why'd you change, and what do you prefer?
So I liked my tights. I liked my tights, but for me it was people said like, yeah, you got nice thighs. You should show off your thighs, and trunks are cheaper. Um, I prefer but I was tired of pulling sweaty tights off at the end of matches. It was way easier to just pull the trunks off. And I bought a pair of trunks, and like the reaction I got to them was like, oh, okay, I'll keep this going a little bit longer. But I like both, but I prefer the trunks.
All right. Now you was in the Super 8 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Can you,
Yep.
can you tell us how that came about?
Uh, there's a wrestler. I don't know if you're familiar. His name's a very good professional wrestler.
Yes.
He
But what's
I
his
didn't.
name?
That's his name. A very good professional wrestler.
But I get it. He's a good professional wrestler. But what's his name? No,
That is his name.
I'm joking.
Well, he was Dasher Hatfield in Jakar. I'll put it, but he I got a DM from like them on Twitter, and I'm like, hey, you wanna wrestle on a Super 8? You're gonna be a replacement. And then when I got there, I ran into a very good professional wrestler, and I was like, hey, I got a feeling you had something to do with this. He was like, maybe. And so he was the one that got me on that card, man. You know.
And I mean, what did it mean to you being so early on in your career, being in such a high regarded tournament on the independents?
Dude, I was taken back. I was like, wow, like, things are going my way. I mean, to get this opportunity, as you said, I was only a year and a half in, maybe a year in, you know, to be on that card, and that's one of the most like legendary tournaments. I was, I know I couldn't sleep that night before, and then I didn't know who I was going against, so I was just my head was racing,
I noticed,
but it's great.
I noticed at the end of that match, he kind of maybe didn't land the power bomb as well as he should have. Was you okay after that?
Yeah, I was fine. Yeah,
Okay.
he was smooth with me. Yeah, I was perfectly fine with that.
And you was in the trios tag team tournament as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Mm-hmm.
how do you go into a tournament style match knowing you're gonna maybe have multiple matches in one night?
It is like in the beginning that was like really nerve wracking. I'm like, wow, I gotta remember for this match, and then I gotta try to remember everything for this next match. It was it was nerve wracking, and we were so early on. I think we debuted in King and Trios was in October, so we were green as grass, and it was nerve wracking. But that going back to crowds, man, that was probably one of the biggest crowds that I wrestled in front of. So that was a night that I'll never forget.
And we talked about you having one-on-one matches are your preferred. It seems like you do a lot of trio matches as well. Is that your second go-to?
It's whatever that I'm booked in. I don't whatever they book me for, I'm down to do. Like I said, my preference is obviously singles matches, but
Right.
yeah, that could be that's fine. I would probably say tag matches more than trios though.
Okay. And you said you're booked for 2022. Things are hopefully things will get more back to normal than they already are. Um, what are you Is there anything you're looking forward to next year, or opponent or event or something going into 2022?
I'm looking forward to wrestling for more promotions. I would love to wrestle for Beyond Wrestling, GCW, Limitless.
Mm,
I've had conversations with a couple of people from those promotions. Wrestling wise, I got a match with Mr. Grimm. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but we
yeah.
were supposed to wrestle together earlier last year. Things got switched up on us last second. But we wrestle each other on the 15th, and it's gonna be on IWTV so everybody can see it. But it's gonna be hard hitting. Uh, give people their money's worth.
All right. What about a specific opponent?
Oh, the specific opponent. I would love to wrestle O'Shea Edwards.
Mm,
Um, I would love to wrestle Calvin Tankman.
all right.
Uh, and Alex King.
Alex King. Ooh, the suplex assassin.
Yeah, that's my twin, man. We both got a mohawk.
Triplets, if you count the guy on AEW, what's his name?
Oh, Hobbs. No, they talking about
Hobbs,
Hobbs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. And now onto a controversial subject.
Sure.
Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Which one?
Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I think whoever created pineapple on pizza uh should be ashamed of themselves. Pineapple on pizza. Not a fan of it.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
What's what?
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Pokemon?
Yeah, what's your Pokemon you most relate to?
I couldn't even tell you. I I'd haven't had the cards in like 12 years, 15 years or something.
Did you use
I
you
always
used to
like
collect?
Charizard.
Huh?
I always like Charizard.
Alright. Oh gee.
Mm.
I don't hate it. But you used to collect the cards?
Yeah, man. I remember middle school days, man. I had like the binder with all of the cards in it. You had what's it called? Hydrographic cards, the shiny cards, and things like that. And I had I think like the biggest card that I had at the time was like the Blastoise card or something like that. But yeah, of course we had all of those cards back in the day.
But did you ever run a Pokemon card underground trading um an underground trading scheme?
No.
Now I only ask that because we've actually had somebody on that ran an underground Pokemon trading card scheme.
Mm.
So like, you never know.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Weirdest thing you'll ever be asked on a wrestling podcast. Would you ever consider wrestling a rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual rock.
An actual literal rock?
Yes.
No, I would never do that.
And why not?
I think that's pushing it for me. Like, I see some people and look, and if it's their thing, it's their thing. I'm not knocking that. I've seen like really, really gimmick style matches, and like I said, if it's for them, it's for them. For me, nah, I'm not doing that.
Well, just for context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual rock for over 15 minutes in what was called a Tungsten Man match, an Iron Man match that lasted for 2 weeks.
Oh wow, that's good for them.
You're like this good, like, yeah, I'm not touching that.
Hey, I ain't touching that. Good for those people.
Hypothetically speaking, if you were booked in a 2 week Iron Man match, would you take that booking?
No, not at all.
No,
It's a good
on
question.
this, huh?
That's a good question.
And he didn't beat The Rock as well.
He does beat The Rock?
He did not beat The Rock. It was a draw.
Oh wow. Yeah, yeah.
319 to 319.
I understand. Yeah, that's rough. I got you.
Now, on the show, we love Tracy Smothers. In
Mm-hmm.
honor of Tracy, do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
THUT. No.
T is for terrible, H is
Mm-hmm.
for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail. 'Cause a Doug can't spell.
That's a good one.
Yeah, love Tracy on the show, kind of, want to keep the memory alive, give the guy his flowers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously, a lot of people that I personally know were affected by his passing. Knew him personally, and I've heard nothing but great things about him.
I didn't know him personally as well, but we've had guests on before that have, and it's I've never heard a bad thing said about Tracy.
Right.
It's so it's a cool little thing that he did that could maybe go somewhere for us.
Hmm.
Now it is once again time for that segment, Devontez's Bizarre Adventure. You're a
Okay.
wrestler that goes up and down the road, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Um, I don't know. The craziest thing, I know we drove to Alabama to wrestle for New South, and I just remember this highway we were on. The ground, like the paved, the cement was just all red because it was nothing but like dead deers that got smacked on this
Ooh.
freeway people cars, and I know for like 2 miles all you seen was blood all over the ground. Uh, and I remember, it was like 2 in the morning. There's like six of us in the van, and I just remember seeing this deer just like like the one leg just like hobbling off, you know, in the middle of the highway. Car, I caught it, but the car next to me smacks it,
Oh
you
my
know,
God!
and right, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I see what all of this stuff is on the ground. This is like deer blood, but yeah, that was probably the most craziest thing that I've ever seen, but or thing that happened to me while I was on the road. Thank God, pretty much everything else has just been going smooth for me. I get to and from my destination safely.
And that's super bizarre.
Yeah,
I mean, they just run over deer like it's like a squirrel?
yeah, it was. If I would give any type of leniency, it was night, and I don't know if y'all got deers out there, but
No.
like times it's so hard to see deers. But yeah, that wasn't a pretty sight. I tell you that much. I felt sorry for that car, by the way, too.
And I mean, what are
Yeah,
you thinking when you see all this blood? Are you saying, okay, was there maybe a slaughter here before that?
yeah. I didn't know it was blood, but I'm just like, I'm like well, I was thinking like, well, maybe it is, maybe it has to be blood, but you know, it was like for like 2 miles, all you seen was like red, certain spots all over the freeway. And then said I'm driving up and I see this deer just hobbling in the middle of the freeway. And like I said, I was fortunate enough to get around it, but the guy next to me hit it dead on.
And you're absolutely sure you was not in a horror movie.
That's,
There
it
was no
looked like
cameras pointed at you.
yeah, all that blood.
On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, man. I would love to just, have a place to call home. So whether it could be like MLW, Impact, AEW, WWE, whatever the case may be, I would love to just be there, have a home. But right now, I enjoy the journey. Like I tell people all the time, I enjoy the road trips. I enjoy, having something to do on the weekends or whatever day that I'm booked, man. So just appreciating everything that comes to me. But so if those things come, it comes.
I get
But yeah,
that.
yeah.
I respect that. It's
Hmm.
interesting you said WWE because maybe the last 2 years WWE hasn't been maybe represent been had a shining light on it when it comes to independent talent.
You said the WWE hasn't shined a light on the independent talent?
They haven't been maybe kind to independent talent over the last 2 years, kind of discouraging it rather than embrace it. So it's
Yeah,
interesting, like you said, WWE.
yeah. I mean, listen, WWE is, it's the I grew up watching this,
Yeah.
so if that opportunity came, yeah, I think they did do good as far as hiring independent talent. I don't think that the independent talent lasted there, unfortunately. But when you look at some of the guys that I personally know that came out of the Indies and went to WWE, they didn't last long. Probably to WWE's doing, but um, I don't think that I think they more so want to sign somebody who looks a certain way and then teach them the WWE style, opposed to having somebody who has in-ring experience that you don't have to teach that much. Uh, I think that that's unfortunate. We all hear the rumors that they're not signing any independent talent anymore, but I think it's their loss. you know, truly.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely their loss considering how NXT is going right now. But I mean, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other time.
Yeah.
Um, what is a match that people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Devontez is all about?
uh, I would say go to um OWA versus Paradigm. I wrestled this guy named Karam. It's on IWTV. That was it was a slugfest. Like, he is a monster the way he looks. Like, he is ripped. And I think that I was very proud of that match, man. Very proud of that match. If you go to if you look at on Catalyst Wrestling, me versus Makowski, our fourth match, I was very proud of that match as well. So those two, I would say, you look at the Super 8 as well, but I was really young. Like, that was like I said, my first full year into this. I was proud of that as well, but I would say those other two first.
All right. Now, since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Sure.
This is our bonus round, our speed round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Kurt Angle.
Worst wrestler of all time.
Uh, Nia Jax.
Ooh. Well, you now have heat with Scooter and Kaliko.
Uh-huh.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your
Uh-huh.
opponent?
Did it have to be in WWE or just
No,
any wrestler?
anybody you
Uh,
want. Dead
Jay
or
Lethal.
alive, we'll get the Ouija board out.
Jay Lethal.
Ooh, interesting. I love that answer.
Mm-hmm.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Come on, anybody? New New Jack.
Ooh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
Dead.
squash. Fruit or vegetable?
Vegetable.
It is a fruit.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Scientifically, it is a fruit. But, you are now officially in good graces with Kaliko Yachts, a part of Squash Squad, and that means a hell of a lot more.
There you go. There you go.
New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I couldn't give you an exact inch, but I would say it should cover your whole cheek. It should. It's okay if a little bit is popping out. But I don't know if you've seen AEW a couple weeks ago with Andrade, and it was just too much cheek for me. It looked like he had like boy shorts on, kind of,
Yeah.
and it was like 30% of his cheek was out, and it was just bothering me. I'm like, that I don't know if you purposely did that. I mean, that's did it, but I think you need to go back to whoever does your gear.
You got ripped off. They did not put the extra 30%.
Right. Yep.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
I've had conversations about Darby Allin, just wasn't in the supermarket.
And that is the correct answer.
That's a great question.
That will conclude our interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
No problem. I had a lot of fun, man. Anytime.
Oh, and I had a lot of fun as well. Darby, that's why we specifically asked in a supermarket. It has to be the supermarket.
That's a nice twist.
There's a specific reason. I can tell you afterwards. Once again, can you tell us where we can find you on social media, your merchandise, the whole shebang?
Devontez PW on Twitter. That's the best way to get in contact with me. Whatamaneuver.com. Type in Devontez, my whole merch line pops up. Greatly appreciate it. Check that out.
We have a YouTube page as well.
Yeah, I have a YouTube page. I need to upload more to it. I guess it's way more matches on IWTV that I need to rip and put on my YouTube page. But yeah, so more videos. I might upload a couple of tomorrow, man. I got a lot of time to myself tomorrow.
All right. Well, all of those links will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. After this interview, Ben's watched some Devantes matches, and then buy a damn shirt.
There you go.
Of course, if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next week as we interview Izzy Shaw. In the coming weeks after that, Mr. Grimm, and the Renegade Twins.
Oh, wow,
Yeah. And so keep on our social media at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram for exact dates on when those interviews are coming out. You can of course follow me at JamesJ993. Follow Kaliko at I am Kaliko. Follow Scooter at Scooter Dust, and of course on the Smoking Dragons podcast with Rico Constantino Jr. Devontez, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment.
Gotcha.
For our very special guest, Devontez, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James Shea, and this has been Wrestling Wit
Entertainment.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.